And as it stands, we have elected a convicted rapist. And the fact that people don't find anything wrong with that, I mean, the fact that there are a lot of people that were convicted come out of jail and they can't even have the right to vote. And for y'all to turn around and say, but he can be president. And the fact that most black men actually suffer from mass incarceration, don't find anything wrong with that. Don't find the fact that they're disenfranchised after probably getting charges trumped up on them, come out just to a life that they can't even get a job because of this conviction, but their president can surpass everything because of white supremacy. And then you sit him in that chair and tell us that we don't care about his character. What's the economy going to be like? I'm going to tell you what it's going to be like. It's shit because he's a shit businessman.
Can I respond really quickly?
Actually, you can.
Should we line up the children who are currently in DCFS, march them to Lake Michigan, and drown them? I mean, when we talk about children who are unwanted and how their lives don't matter because they're coming to unstable situations, what we're saying is that the children who are currently in foster care should be marched to the lake and drowned. And that's not okay. Steve Jobs was adopted. Lots of people were adopted and they went on to live great lives. Just because you are not ready does not, that body, this is your body, but that body inside your body, that has its own heart, it has its own mind, it has its own everything. That ain't your body. And when you made the decision to take your panties off, that's when you decided whether or not you were going to get pregnant. They've been teaching us since we were 10 years old how not to get pregnant. They said once you take your panties off and lay down, you better know that sex is a procreation act. The purpose of it is to procreate, not to have orgasms. And I love them, okay? But I know every time that I take my panties off, there is a high possibility that I can get pregnant. So you have to have some control in that. So with the whole that being said, again, when we talk about morality, we cannot say that it is okay to unalive and chop up and poison fetuses, but then in the same breath talk about morality of somebody else. No. We're not looking for our preacher. Donald Trump is not my preacher. That is not my man. I need somebody that's going to go and stand up to Putin for me, who's going to go over there and stand up to these Iranians, who's going to go over there to that Middle East. And they were not going to take that from Kamala. Those Arab men did not want to hear what she had to say, and they would have laughed in her face. This is the United States of America, and we need a strong leader because right now, y'all, we're in the middle of World War III. Regardless of whether or not anybody wants to accept that fact, they are warming up the nukes right now. And we need somebody that's going to be in place to be able to properly get that diplomacy through. And I think that he's the best man. When he was in office, we didn't have any wars. We didn't have any of this. Now we're in 3 wars on the verge of another, going through all these types of collapses. We need somebody that's going to take care of the country first, and we need a respected global leader, and that person is Donald Trump. That's why they didn't play with him, and that's why we were doing better. God bless America, and God bless Donald Trump.
Does she know that Putin is like Trump's best friend?
Yes, I do know that. I do. You know that. Putin did not tell him to say congratulations because Putin nor the Iranian president did not tell him congratulations today because they said the United States is an adversarial country. But I would rather my president have a positive relationship with the other people on the other side of the planet that have the nukes than have an adversarial one. You make better friends with honey than boo-boo. So I want my president to go and give honey to everybody on behalf of the United States of America to keep my family safe. See, I don't know. Maybe you don't got no kids. You know, you talk about what you do. I got a baby and I want grandkids. And I want this water to be clean. I want this air to be functioning for when my child make it. And we need global peace for that because I'm somebody grandmama. Not now, but I'm going to be and somebody big mama, somebody great grandmama.
All right, we gotta shut that mic. We gotta shut that mic. All right, let's go ahead and get Sweeney in there and then trigger mic. Go ahead, Sweeney.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing this evening? I see you done got heated up in here. First and foremost, I don't understand why, and to keep it being, I'm not a Trump supporter or any of that, right? But we're accusing one group of being single issue voters when the reality is that it's the other. Because the only thing I've been seeing women complain about men is about the whole baby deletion thing. And the reality is that that's not the main reason why any of the men were out here voting. They weren't voting because they was adamantly against abortion. They had, baby deletion. You can look at the exit polls and tell that. Like, if you look at the exit polls, baby deletion was only 14% of voters cared about baby deletion. The economy was, I think the state of democracy was first. The economy was second. And then that's where you had deletion, and then immigration, and then foreign policy. And even if you did consider that, most Americans agree on deletion. Most of them. Like, this isn't like, I don't get why. Hold on, let me pull it up. This is most people's views on deletion in 2024, according to Pew Research. Black people by and large, 73% versus 24%. White man, 60% versus 30%. And then if you go by men and women, men largely 61% to 38. 61% to 38%. Women were 64% to 33%. We largely agree on this. So I don't know why we keep being the scapegoats of this situation when we had far more things that we cared about than whether y'all could delete babies or not. That wasn't our issue. That was y'all's. But because y'all wound up being the thing that y'all wanted, wind up being on the chopping block, y'all want to come at men, black men specifically, and have an issue with us. And you know what, though? I'm gonna keep it real.
It's a way to dodge accountability.
Here's the problem, and this is what I think a lot of y'all don't understand. Why would men and women see eye to eye politically on anything when we live in separate houses? Why? Over nearly 7 to 10 black men and women are not married, and 5 to 7 to 10 of them who are married gonna wind up divorced. Single men have their own political views. Single women have their own political views and needs. And nuclear families have their own political views and needs. Since we are completely separated by and large, of course we're going to go in two different directions politically. I don't know how y'all didn't expect men to deviate and y'all to deviate and go into two different directions. We're not going to see eye to eye on this because we don't have the same needs. Y'all have y'all needs, we have our needs. Well, the single men have their needs. And then you have the nuclear families that have their needs.
So
largely, go ahead.
So if what you're saying is true, and I believe it, I've looked at the data too. What do they mean? Because I think I heard somebody say it earlier on this panel right now. What do you think they mean when they say this black women are staying on code? What does that mean? Because if we divide it by code, like, or are they talking about their own individual code?
Yeah, it's their own code. It's what they need from the government. It's what they need politically. It has nothing to do with us. Just like largely the things, now granted, I would say that men care about things that largely would affect most of us, but single men have their own things that they demand from the government, like fair politics in the court system and things like that. Those are the things we would kind of lead on. We probably are more politically aware when it comes to policies regarding economics and stuff like that. That's what we largely would err into. And that's just as individuals. Then you have your nuclear families that have their needs. If you single and you ain't got no man at home, and if you single, you ain't got no woman at home, of course y'all gonna have different ones from the government.
And here's my thing, Sweeney. This group of people, whoever they are, they want us to care about their lives so much, but yet to try to show up for us whenever we're trying to protest against how the family court system is destroying men's lives. We never see these same women that want us to champion the policies they want to support and the rights they want. Never get out in the trenches and say, what about the family court systems is doing to these men? Alimony, child support, and unfair divorce proceedings. It just baffles me, like the irony. Like, you really want us to stand up for you whenever you rape us in family court
Bruiser, how does that baffle you? It makes perfect sense.
The tripped out
it makes perfect sense.
We're
talking about people that are hyper individualists. That's what this is.
That's what it is. They have their own individual things that they demand from the government, and it is what it is. That's the issues that's the hill. Because if you think about it, right here in Texas right now, a man could be married to a woman. She can cheat on him, have another baby by another man, and he's financially responsible for that kid. And the hoops that he will have to jump through to not be financially responsible for that kid is wild. He has to go find the child's father, bring the man to court, and declare that man is the father of this child. Do you see women out there marching to change those issues? But those are men issues. So when we start voting on things like that, and that doesn't align with the way that y'all move or the things that y'all want from the government, understand it's because we're not in the same households. We don't come from the same place. We are individuals. This is how y'all wanted it. Y'all moved, y'all broke up with your men, you left them, you went off and did your own thing, and now you have your own issues. So either nut up and vote, but you can't get mad at the men for voting in their own interest. It is what it is.